Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Just checking what's in here. Okay, my two things aren't meeting up. I'll have to take a look at it in a moment. It's close enough. This says 7.4, that says 7.5. It's all good. So 7.4 right now. I've had quite a bit of correction all night. Line is looking pretty good. So during the night, I was pretty even. So, all good. %83 time in range. This is a little unsettling. Yesterday, 17%. Hello, whose fault? Started with the morning. They came in, they did what they had to do, and they disconnected the pump. And I forgot to rehook it later in the day. I forgot to give insulin. My whole mind. I've set up timers on my phone, so hopefully this thing won't happen again, but we'll see. Today I want to talk to you about a type 2 diet for type 1s. Would it work? We'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Okay, type 2 diabetes diet. They have stopped saying that a type 1 diabetic doesn't necessarily have a diet, but a lot of these points can be transferred over. That's the video. Thanks a lot. Just kidding. Okay. First, you want to include more starchy vegetables. So, a good clue of what has starch, and when they're talking starch, they're talking the carbohydrates. So anything richer in color, such as carrots, beets, all have a higher carbohydrate count. Things like broccoli, spinach, green beans, all works great. A little fact, when I had my service dog and he was a little pudgier, the school suggested I put him on supplementing his diet with green beans. And he would feel fuller and they wouldn't cause that much weight gain. it's a carb count again. It's amazing. Staying away from refined sugars. That's got to be one of the simplest things you want. And this is even with type 1. You want to stay away from hidden sugars, refined sugars, things like candies, cakes. Doesn't mean we can't eat them, but we shouldn't be eating them every single day at every single meal. It's not a good thing to do. You want to take a look with white bread, rice, and pasta with less than 2 grams of fiber. On our side, for those of us who are counting carbs, know that fiber is sort of a good thing. But I guess not as much. Focus on whole foods instead of highly processed. So, yes, and a lot of people are saying, oh, well, they're just wanting me to be on leafy green vegetables for the rest of my life. No, that's not what they're saying. They're saying it should be a larger portion of our diet. We have been thinking for years about the food pyramid. That's older way of thinking. The newer way is more leafy greens, more salads, not smothered in salad dressing. And I've got to admit, even I enjoy ranch or whatever. I love smothering. I am a mayonnaise addict. It's good. But I've cut that down. I've cut a lot down. I'm not as active as I once was, so there's no real need to have it. A lot of diabetics, and I'll tell you a story before I bring up the last point, would have been told to cut back fruit because fruit is jam-packed with sugar. And again, when they say sugar, they're talking carbohydrates. And I can see why, but on the other hand, I don't believe cutting anything from your diet is a good thing. And I'm talking proteins, carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables. Cutting all of one of these from your diet. Cutting processed sugar or refined foods may be something you want to look into, or limiting them. And I've gone the 80-20 rule. But a type 1 or type 2 diabetic may look on this differently, and that's great. Because you got to remember, type 1 and type 2 are the way your body utilizes sugar and insulin. Type 2, your body still produces some. Type 1, not so much. And anything we eat, we have to ensure we count the carbs and eat it. Type 1 or type 2 is more of knowing what your body does with the sugar you eat. It could be taking a drug like metformin or I think it's called diabetes or diabetes or but Jardinan or Ozempic, and not for weight loss, for its initial purpose of helping diabetes with your diet. Keeping your body healthy is the important thing. So, can this diet work for us? Yes. But it's also important that type 2, it's all about controlling that sugar so that you're not going to get spikes throughout the day and have higher blood sugar. Type 1 is about counting the carbs and giving the insulin to match those carbs. So, if you're out at a fancy restaurant and you want to have dessert, have dessert. Count the carbs in a piece of cake or whatever it is and give yourself a shot to cover those carbs. Now, yes, we can maybe have whatever we like. However, it's important to remember that you don't do it all the time. A couple of times, maybe, but not every single day. Well, you see, I got overeat yesterday and it really didn't raise my blood sugar, so I can do it again and my blood sugar will be fine. No. You want to eat healthy. Insulin has been a blessing, but it also can be a curse. Insulin can pack on the pounds. So that is why we say medication, eating, exercise. They go hand in hand. I was never much for exercise. I grew up pretty much in the 70s. You come home from school, you watch TV. There really wasn't that much going on. But a type 1 diabetic diet, if you want to call it, it's more menu choices. Should follow those same rules. You can have dairy, cheeses. You can have proteins. And it doesn't necessarily have to be red meat every single day. There's an awful lot of beans or legumes that have protein enriched. Tofu. I personally have yet to try tofu. We don't seem to get much of it here. But maybe one day I'll try it. Unfortunately, most of my work life came from a convenience store, so there was an awful lot of carbs around the whole time. So I think I missed the story, and I'll quickly do this story. Back we were talking about removing fruits from your diet, and I started by saying the story that there was a group of us meeting, and a couple of them were type 2, and they were saying, "Oh no, you can't have fruit." And I'm looking at them saying, well, my dietitian says Yes, I can. But again, we're talking two different diseases. So just keep that in mind. Eat sensibly for a majority of your time. If you want to splurge, okay, but not every single day, not every single meal. Back in the days, and this is how I'm going to end off here, I got really into the packaged oatmeals. They were really quick to eat if I had to get up and go somewhere. But I really found it was sugar-free syrup. Well, it really wasn't sugar-free. It was reduced, but it wasn't sugar-free. And adding that, it was quite good. Wasn't great for my diet. So, sensible eating, type 1s. Make sure you have carbs, fruits, proteins. And remember, proteins doesn't necessarily mean red meats. There's chicken, I'll call them alternate source proteins. Speak it over with your dietitian. And if you're having lows, the best bet is in your yogurt or Rice Krispie treats, I guess is another way, is making it with uncooked cornstarch, and it settles down your blood sugars. Seemed to work. It helped me along the way. And with that, I hope you're having a great day. We'll talk later. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.